Ultimately, what we do with our time is most precious because our time's limited. And if there are shortcuts that I've learned through my own experience and then also through the interviews I've done on my podcast, I'm obligated to share that information.
So Joe, tell us about the motivation behind this new book, the purpose behind it, and what you hope to accomplish.
Ultimately, it's something that I wanted to create because there wasn't anything like it whenever I was going through the process of apartment syndication for the first time. Ultimately, what we do with our time is most precious because our time's limited. And if there are shortcuts that I've learned through my own experience and then also through the interviews I've done on my podcast, I'm obligated to share that information. I remember being on my first deal after we closed, and I went to the mortgage broker's office, and he said, "Okay, now we just need the insurance payment." And I said, "Wait, what? Insurance payment?" He said, "Yeah, it's $25,000. I'm like, "Whew, I hadn't planned for that." And there's a lot of things like that. I had planned to pay for insurance. I just didn't know I'd have to pay for it up front. And there are a lot of things like that that are needed to be addressed prior to going into a deal. And if we can have some shortcuts that help the readers out, then certainly I want to do that.
Before we get into your main takeaways from the book, tell us a little bit about the construction of how long this has taken you and a little bit about the research you've done to comprise the book.
Well, 1,500 individual conversations with real estate investors from my daily podcast, $400 million worth of apartment communities that my company has, and some tears and perhaps some blood along the way. I'm sure I cut myself sometime along the way. Ultimately, this is a book that's based on my own experiences firsthand, as well as the interviews I've done, and that's the beauty of it, because there are mistakes that or sneaky things that brokers might do in order to make a deal look better than it actually is, intentionally or unintentionally. And I learned a lot of these things both firsthand, but then also by speaking to other apartment owners and their experiences on deals, looking through offer memorandums. There are things that I learned from managing deals, from asset management, etc. And I would include those in the book. And then as we're about to finish the book, I added some additional things because I just did an interview with an apartment owner who had some good tips about how to renovate a unit, or had a way to partner with a management company that I hadn't heard of or thought of before, and we included that in there. So it's just a constant flow of information that I have access to because of the podcast, and then combine that with the ownership of the apartments. It's a pretty dynamic 1-2 punch.